How do you start a vlog? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's going to be the first day that I go into school. This semester I'm only going in 2 times a week, which is kind of exciting and also kind of scary. I have to be working on my thesis, which is a novel. I know what I'm doing with that. It's more so about just sitting down and writing, but it's really hard to do that. I'm a huge procrastinator. So I'm hoping that this is also going to help me focus more. So yesterday was Monday and it was also Labor Day, and I decided to go to the park. Since I've moved to this city specifically, I haven't really gone like exploring. It's been a while that I keep feeling like I really want to go find a park to go sit at, read at, walk around. I finally decided to give into my urge to explore. Literally just searched up on Google Maps and found a really gorgeous park. It was so beautiful. The weather has been so gorgeous. I walked around for a while. I saw a lot of frogs. It was really cute. I sat and read a little bit of my book. Yeah, so that was my Monday. My bed is finally made. Today I just kind of lived. For the rest of the day, I kind of have plans to read a little bit more of my book. I'm almost done with it, so I think I could finish it tonight. Before that, I'm gonna probably finish lesson planning. I've done most of the outline that I need to have, basically the schedule. That's mostly done, but I'm really excited. I think there's a point of diminishing return with breaks. If I haven't been at school or work for too long, I start to feel like so annoyed and frustrated. It's nice to have something to do, first of all, and secondly, I really like teaching, especially when I get a good group of kids. My experience has been that if I have a good group of kids, I love teaching, and if I don't, I dread it. I've been teaching this same class for 2 years now. This is my 3rd year, and I've so far had one of the best semesters of my life teaching, which was fall 2023. Also had the absolute worst class of my time there. I will say I'm kind of nervous about this semester. So that's all school stuff. In terms of reading, I'm still reading A Curse for True Love. So the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. I'm 78% through, so literally almost done. Honestly, this one kind of slaps. I think I'm enjoying this the most so far. The story is so interesting. I think what I really like about this, and I don't think this is spoilers, but just in case, then don't watch past this point until you've read this book. I will wait for you to leave. All right, basically in the 3rd book, she's lost all of her memories of Jax, Polo, and basically everything that's happened since the beginning of the book, which I thought is really clever. As someone who didn't remember what happened in the first 2 books, I felt almost like I could put myself in Evangeline's shoes. I felt like I knew just as much as Evangeline did. When you consider how the books come out, and usually there's like a year gap between them, and I'm assuming that's how this one was. People who are reading the books have forgotten a lot of what happens, then it's really interesting choice to make your character also forget literally what happened in the 1st and 2nd books. Obviously she did it for a plot reason, but I thought it was really funny too, because I was just like, oh, Evangeline, I am just as lost as you are. It wasn't until she gets her memories back, this is probably a spoiler, if you're watching, you've agreed to them. Because she gets her memories back, you kind of get like a summary of what happened in the past 2 books. So I feel like you could even technically read this by itself and it would be fine. So that's my update on this. I'm also listening to Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Really crazy book. Like, I'm also going to go into spoiler territory with that one. So if you don't want to know, then don't listen. In this one, there are 2 doctors who are the main characters and like point of view characters. You kind of go shift between the 2 POVs. The girl, her name is Brianna, I actually remember her name this time, has a brother who has like a kidney problem, is on dialysis, needs a kidney donor. And then the male love interest, which is Jacob, is a match for her brother, and he agrees to give his kidney to her brother. It's weird. Like, I feel weird about a love story between characters that are so, like, the girl is so indebted to him. It feels off. Obviously it's a romance, so in the field of romance, yes, it could happen, and happily it just, to me, it feels weird. I definitely liked Just for the Summer more. And the other thing I'll say is some of the characters from Just for the Summer, like Justin, are showing up in this book, which I think is fun. Like, it's kind of fun. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna go spend the rest of the evening just finishing up lesson planning so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the semester. So that's what we're gonna do. Which means I teach today. Today's the first official day of school for me. Obviously, school started yesterday for everyone, but I didn't have to go in until today. So I told myself that today was like the first real day. It doesn't feel real. I don't know what it is about this semester specifically. I just don't feel like I actually have to go to school. It feels like a fever dream. But I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm like nervous excited, but I think it's because since it's my third year, it's a lot less directed. And even in my second year, I like was involved with the incoming like new teachers and stuff. So I still felt like even though I was guiding them, like I was still being guided. And now this year, it's like I haven't had any group prep to do, which has been both fun because I think it's been easier to like do what I want to do without like being bombarded with a bunch of information. But also it's been a little bit stressful because I keep worrying that I'm forgetting things. It's really odd yapping alone. So because I have like 2 hours, I already had breakfast and I cleaned up my house a little bit. It feels like it's never ending. It feels like the work of keeping my house clean never ends. But it's like fun to do, especially if I have like a podcast or an audiobook that I'm enjoying listening to, which is kind of relevant, by the way, because I'm finding myself a little bit resistant to listening to yours truly, even though it's not bad. It's just not as engaging as Just for the Summer was. So I'm truly, because I don't want to put myself in another reading slump. So I'm really considering just not listening to it for a little while and then picking it up at a later date. And the same goes for the book that I picked up. So, oh my God, wait a second. I want to talk about A Curse for True Love because I finished it last night. I literally finished it at midnight last night and I was like, girl, you got to go to sleep. But I didn't want to. It was so good. It was actually so good. I enjoyed that book so much. Definitely my favorite of the three. I do think that you could read it by itself. Like, I genuinely think you could read it by yourself and it would be just as enjoyable. It feels like the first two books did the work of setting the scene and kind of cultivating your attachment to the two characters, or to the many characters, but the two main characters that like I think everyone can get behind. I do think you could read it by itself, honestly, and you don't really need the first two books. The first two books are just for like the slow burn of it all, but it was so good. First of all, I called what was going to happen literally like at the 70-80% mark. I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And it did. But I wasn't disappointed about it. Like, I wasn't disappointed that it was what I expected. So I ate that up. I want to talk about it more, but maybe I'll talk more about it in my wrap up for September. Let's just leave it at that. It was really fun. It was really good. I actually really had a good time with that book. Literally, after I finished that book, I had a gaping hole in my heart of like, what am I going to read next? And I decided to pick up A Study in Drowning because I realized that my library loan's going to like my library loan is gonna lapse in 2-3 days. So I was like, let me just get into this and see if I like it or whatever, because if I don't, maybe I won't even renew it. I feel like it's a book that I could like under different circumstances. I don't know what it is, but right now I'm finding it really hard to pick up a vast majority of books that I know otherwise I would enjoy. Like, I know otherwise I would like reading these books, but it just feels hard right now. So I'm really on the precipice of like another reading slump, which I have been going through for the last like since February basically. And I don't want to force myself to read anything that I don't absolutely want to read. So I might just put it down, and not as a DNF, because literally I only read the first 3 pages. So I don't think that counts as a DNF. But I think I might just put it down, or like once it lapses, not push myself to read it again or read more, and pick up something else and see if that works. I really don't want to push myself into a reading slump. And I feel like because of the way my semester is structured for the fall, I have enough free time that I could get away with reading and writing a lot. Intentionally like structured picking my classes in such a way that I could kind of have a lot of free time in my 3rd year, because I want to write as much as possible, read as much as possible. So I don't want to risk putting myself into a reading slump and then waste all of my time that I've literally like cultivated purposefully for this purpose. Like, yeah. So that's the update. I absolutely loved A Curse for True Love. I really loved that book. It was so good. And I'm still trudging through yours truly. I honestly might just put it down. I think for me, the measure of whether or not I want to actually read a book is going to be how likely I am to pick it up versus my podcast if I'm listening to an audiobook. And at the moment, I'm picking up my podcasts more than the audiobook, which tells me I'm not that into it. So I'm going to go to the gym. I'm just going to run a little bit. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about too is, well, there's something so lovely about like, this is why I love being in school. It gives you structure, but you also have enough free time to kind of do whatever you want. And I really appreciate that. I want to take advantage of it as much as possible, because I'm really nervous for the next year and what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I just don't know. There are certain things in my life that I know that I want, but they're not things that I can put like a timestamp on them the same way that I can with school. Because like with school, I was talking to one of my friends about this too. When you're in school, you know you're working towards something. Like, you know, if you take this class and you do well, and you take that class and you do well, then you're going to end up with the degree. But I think this is just what I appreciate so much about my master's right now. Not only am I getting paid to teach, I'm also able to take classes if I want to. I have so much free time other than when I'm teaching. Anyways, yeah, I'm rambling, but I'm just so grateful to be in this degree. I can't believe it's almost over. I kind of wish I started making videos like 2 years ago, just because it would have been fun to see the development of like my experience at school from the beginning. I'm literally entering my 3rd year of 3, which is exhilarating and exciting and also a little bit intimidating because I don't know what happens after that. But yeah, I think this year/semester is also going to be a lesson in trying not to control everything, kind of going after seeking things that I want, but not being controlled by that wanting. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm excited. I'm just ruminating a lot because I literally go to school today, like, because today is the first day that I'm going to be going back after a long, long summer. So it's Friday. I am here with some updates on what I'm reading, on how school went. But first, I want to show you guys the little plant haul that I did because I'm so excited about it. I usually go to, there's this plant store that I really like. It's called Sage Home Goods and it's very, very cute. So you can already see this little one. So I got this little plant. It was only $6 and I have a few tiny ones that my friend gave me and I realized that they're like really nice for just like putting in a corner. I like to get like the long flowy plants, like you can kind of see them in the back. This is my living room. But anyways, so I have this little thing that looks like a little like witch's cauldron or something. So I am going to put this little plant in here. I'll probably repot it later on, but for now I am just gonna leave it in here, probably for the duration of like Halloween or something, like October, because we all know Halloween is October. And then I got this plant, which is called a Monstera Peru. I like low maintenance plants. Basically, I don't want to buy plants that I know might die or they won't survive with me. Looking this one up, it seemed like it didn't need too much water too often. One of the websites that I looked at literally said it doesn't need or shouldn't have a strict watering schedule. You just have to kind of test the top of the soil. So there's that. And then there's also this one, which I keep forgetting the name. It's so pretty, guys. Oh my god, she's so pretty. I love all my plants. This might be weird, but I told one of my friends this and she started doing it and she was like, damn, it really feels like my plants can hear me. When I was younger, I like read something or I listened to something and they was talking about how like plants can hear you talking, like can kind of understand the words you're saying. Like if you're saying positive words to them, they'll grow better. And if you say negative words to them, they'll grow like worse. And ever since then, if I ever have had plants, I talk to them a little bit. Like maybe that's weird, but I'll just be like, you're so cute, and then I'll go on my day. It's not like I have like one-sided conversations with them, but still. Or I forget, this one is called here, let's do this. No, I keep saying iridium because it's Stardew Valley. Indeni magnificum. Which again, when I looked it up, when I googled it, it said that it doesn't need too much like water or anything. And this one, I really like getting the plants. Oh my god, this is so funny. But I really like getting the plants with like little, like, I don't know if you can see, but like little babies. They're already coming out. Because usually I take that as a sign. I'm not like a huge, like, I love plants and I have a lot around my house, but I'm not like I don't know too much. I just know whatever I've Googled. This one's also growing a little baby, if you can see. And it's clear that this one's also been like cut to be propagated. Oh, look, another baby. So that's a little plant update. And then for school, the first day went really well. I really like my students so far. It seems like they're gonna be like engaged and interested in the materials. I gave them this like really cool assignment. I basically experimented with it as an icebreaker. It was kind of like a thought experiment, but also like a way for them to get comfortable talking to each other and talking to me and stuff. So it went really well. The students really liked it and it was kind of funny too. I'm excited for the semester. And then also yesterday I decided to go to sit at a cafe. I don't know what it is about working outside, like in a cafe setting versus at home. I think it's kind of like being at the gym versus not. For some reason, I find it like a little bit easier to work and focus when I'm like in a cafe setting. And lastly, for now, I'm actually really happy that I'm keeping up with this finally. It's really cool to check in throughout the week. I think in a weird way, it encourages me to do more with my time than just sit around and scroll. Obviously that could very well change over time if I get used to doing this or whatever, or I stop doing it, which I hope I don't because it's really fun. But I'm really glad that I've kept up with the little weekly vlog this time for the first week of September. I also think it's cool to like record my like week and whatever, because I think it'll be so like, I don't know, I think it'll be really cool to look at these videos like 2-3 years down the line, even if I only do it for a little while. But seeing these videos like 2-3 years down the line and seeing like where I am at right now versus like a few years from now, Reading, oh my gosh, it turned off. So for reading, I actually ended up putting A Study in Drowning down because I just really wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't doing it for me. I'll probably go back to it. I decided to pick Crescent back up, which one of my close friends suggested for me to read. And I was at like 18% when I started reading this 2 days ago, and I'm at 60% now. So clearly it's keeping me I'm really interested in the story so far. Basically, it's about this girl named Serene. She's a chef. She works in this cafe at a university, and then she meets this professor named Hanif. Everybody calls him Han. It's kind of about their relationship. As they're getting to know each other, Serene is learning that there are things about Han's past that she doesn't know. I'm really, I think what's driving me to continue reading is I want to know like the secrets or whatever that Han is potentially hiding. I mean, this book is very clearly about like immigration, moving, and home, and what does it mean to be home, and what does it mean to leave your home. Let me actually tell you what's happening before I read the quote. Serene is half white, half Iraqi. Her dad's Iraqi, her mom was white. Both of her parents passed, these are not spoilers by the way, both of her parents died when she was very young, and they spent a lot of time going on trips, like Red Cross trips, to kind of like help like third world countries basically. So she didn't see them a lot. She lived most of her life with her uncle. She's kind of frustrated and struggling with like understanding Han and realizing that like a big portion of her own history isn't really known to her. Obviously, it's a big part of her own identity. So in the middle of the night, she's so bothered and she can't really sleep. She goes to a cafe and is looking through photo album of her parents. And then her uncle finds her there. Serene asks her uncle, and she's like, "You never talk about Iraq. You never tell me how it was like. And why is that?" Her uncle says, like, it's really hard to talk about. She says, "Why is it hard to talk about?" And then this is the quote. We need to move this a little bit. Anyways, "It means talking about the difference between then and now, and that's often a sad thing. And immigrants are always a bit sad right from the start anyways. Nobody warns you when you leave town what's about to happen to your brains. And then some immigrants are sadder than others. And there's all kinds of reasons why. But the big one is that you can't go back. For example, the Iraq your father and I came from doesn't exist anymore. It's a new, scary place. When your old house doesn't exist anymore, that makes things sadder in general." This actually made me really emotional, by the way. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm hoping I'll finish it either today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, because I want to sit and get some writing done. I finally reached 40,000 words on the piece that I'm working on. I edited the ending because I kind of like jumped around a little bit towards the middle once I like got to a certain point. And I teared up. So I see that as a good sign, because even if nobody else cries, I cried. So that's what matters. Hello, it is finally Saturday night. I'm gonna end it here because I know that tomorrow is probably not gonna be super like busy. I should write a little bit and catch up on some work that I need to do. Wanted to do a final update on my reading, and also I forgot to show you guys my little stickers. So I didn't actually stick them out on the back of my Kindle and then just put it on. I want to like stick them onto it because I want to like be able to switch them around and kind of change it. So, but this is what it looks like. In terms of reading updates, I'm almost done with Yours Truly, which really changed, I think around the 70% mark. Let me talk better. So I'm still listening to Yours Truly. I ran out of hours on Spotify for that, and I don't have a way to get it on Libby or Everand. So I'm just gonna wait until 10 days from now when my hours refresh or whatever and finish it up. I think I only have like an hour and a half left anyway, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna end up being a book that I like. All signs point to me enjoying it and liking it so far and probably enjoying the ending. And then I am 68% of the way through with Crescent, and what I realized was yesterday when I did an update, I was like, oh my god, I might finish it tonight. And then I realized no, like it's gonna take me, I think, a few more days, especially because once Monday rolls around, I have a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm hoping I'll have a lot of reading time tomorrow if I can like clean the house, but I usually listen to audiobooks because I can't like sit and read while I'm like tidying up. Really happy with the books that I'm reading right now. I'm trying not to like pressure myself. I've already reached my goal, which I think I said at the beginning of the year. I only put 5 books down as my goal at the start of this year because I knew that it might be a busier year, and I also just didn't want to put that pressure on myself of like, oh my god, read 100 books, because I used to do that back in like 2018, 2019, 2020. I think it's better to just slow down and enjoy the books that I like reading as opposed to kind of like making it a numbers game. I think that's where I'm gonna leave you for the week. I hope your reading, writing, living is going well. I hope that you're finding joy in whatever brings you joy. I'll see you guys in another